Welcome to our podcast, Learn Biblical Greek, brought to you by Dr. William Stewart, the co-founder of Telios. This captivating podcast teaches you biblical Greek through a verse-by-verse study of the book of Ephesians, interjecting Greek grammar, Greek word meanings, and vital theology concepts. Thanks for joining us on this exciting biblical journey. Your study will be more effective if you use the Greek text with the Bible word codes, either on the eSword download or Bible Hub website. These links are on our podcast website at www.teliosresearch.com.
Hi, I'm William Stewart, co-founder of Telios. Welcome back to our podcast on learning biblical Greek. It's a podcast that takes you right into Greek. We're in Ephesians 1, starting verse 7 today. Get that Bible Hub or eSword open and look at the TRNT, Texas Receptus, and follow along with the codes to help you out. We hope this podcast is helping you to have more confidence and competence in knowing the original language. Let's get going. Great verse here. Starts out with, in verse 7, in, that preposition we all know now, in, meaning at, so it takes the dative in the following noun, and by, on top, by means of, has more flexibility than in English. That omega, number 2, this is a relative pronoun, looks like the article without the T. Okay, so you imagine it's the article will be T omega. This is just the omega. It's a relative pronoun or a pronoun in the dative, singular, masculine, or neuter. Echomen, we have our first present tense. This is very common in Greek. Remember, the present tense is time right now, of course, but it's also a continuous tense and otherwise ongoing action. Remember the example I had of the parade where the aorist, the past tense, so one time, or one of the past tense, one-time event with a beginning and an end, really of any length, seconds or years. And it's like being in the balloon where you could see the whole parade as one event. Continuous tense, it's like you're on the curb watching. You can't see the beginning or the end, and it's just going by continuously. You don't know what's next. MEN, so we have ek, that's the root. O is what I call the connector to what I call the specifier, the ending that tells us gender, number, case. So present tense is either a O or a E on the connector. MEN, MEN is first person plural. So again, check out your grammar for these endings. Omega is first person singular, and as EIS is the second person, EI is the third person, all in the singular. Men is the first person plural. TE, second person, OUSI is the third person plural. And those endings are the same, and the connector is the same in the future. We'll come back to that. Teen, next word. This, again, is an article because you see it has a T. If short words typically are articles, pronouns, relative pronouns, connectors. That A to N tells you it's a feminine accusative singular. And the T on the front tells you it's an article. And of course, there's a noun that comes afterwards, apolacrosin. Okay, the root word here is leucrosis with the apo on the front. That's a preposition and means redemption, important word. We'll talk about that in a second. The S is replaced by the N to make it an accusative, again, in this third declension, okay, where we have unusual endings, typically in a consonant. In this case, it's really, the root ends in a S, I think. So that's the reason why it's third declension. But the N tells you it's a nominative in the third declension. It can also be an A in the third declension. Remember, this third declension is an amalgamation of 6 different declensions. So those accusatives can change a little bit. Apolacrosis, an important word meaning redemption. Otherwise, the base word leucrosis means pay a ransom or pay. Christ paid the price that we deserve to pay, our death for our sins. God being a just God demanded payment from us, but Christ, God being a loving God, Christ paid that price on the cross for us. It's one of the great actions that he accomplished at the cross. As Charles Ryrie says, he also was our substitution, our reconciliation, and our propitiation, as well as our redemption. Wonderful word. Okay, so we've started the present tense here, that we have the redemption. Again, more good examples of case involvements, third and second declension, or first declension, just the third declension. And one correction from last week. I said last week, agapao, in forming the participle, was the connector between the root word and the ending was a conjunction or contraction, and it is not. It's just a lengthening of the alpha to an eta, from a short to a long vowel. And why does it do that? Well, as I'll say many times in this podcast, Greek just sometimes does what it wants to do, so I can't explain it. But again, all these things you'll get used to. So thanks for your patience. Thanks for being here. I'll look forward to seeing you next time.